Hey friends, welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Tan. Today we're going to be talking about, do you believe in signs and dreams? Because we're going to talk about my brother that passed away. It's kind of an emotional subject for me, but me talking about it kind of helps me in a lot of ways. Although it's been years, I still like to talk about it because it keeps, I don't know, it keeps me remembering him in a lot of ways. And so I'm going to share with you guys how I feel, what happened before he died, and after he died. Okay, so I'm gonna take it back to when my son was very small. He had just turned 3, I think. And yeah, I think he just turned 3. And my brother was from out of states, and then he came to visit. It was like 1 week before his birthday. He was about to be 24, so at this time he was 23. He came to spend, I don't remember exactly if it was like a week he came to spend or it was a few days, but he was here a week before his birthday. And I bought him a cake. I always buy everybody in my family a cake. Whenever it's everybody's birthday, I buy a cake. So I bought him a cake for his birthday, and we were sitting in the living room. And my son was small, like I said. I bought a cake, and I was contemplating on, like, should I invite his girlfriend and some other friends if they should come and enjoy some cake. That's all it was going to be, just cake and maybe food. But at the moment it was just cake because it was just only like me, my son, my mom, my brother at the time. So we my father have a lot of kids, let me just say that, like 7 of us, so I have a lot of brothers. And yeah, so I was just like, I don't know, in the moment I kind of felt like I wanted to be selfish with this moment because I kept thinking, like, should I invite his girlfriend, should I invite this person, that person? But I don't know for what reason this time around. I just felt like I wanted to be selfish with him. I just wanted it to be us, and that was it. So he was sitting at the table, and I brought the cake out, and I was like singing happy birthday to him, and him and my son cut the cake together. I have a picture, but I don't know if I'm going to insert it because I don't know, for privacy reasons. I'm just going to leave it where it's at. And so he he asked me, why you buy me a cake so early? And I was like, I don't know if you're going to be here. Let me tell you something, the power in the tongue, or I don't know, maybe I saw it, visioned it, and didn't realize what was happening. And he said to me, like, why you buy me a cake so early? And I was like, you're not gonna be here. But I didn't mean it in that way. I meant, like, because he lives in a different state, I was thinking, like, okay, you're not gonna be here in this state where we're at. You're gonna be where you live, so you're not gonna be here. Did not know it meant he was not gonna be here for real in the flesh. So I was like, well, you're not gonna be here, so I bought you a cake, and we're gonna enjoy the cake. And when you come back, because he did plan that he was gonna come back here, and we were gonna spend his birthday together. I just got a new job. I was getting a better pay. So I'm like, when you come back, we're gonna go enjoy together. I'm gonna take you out to eat, and it's gonna be a great time. And he said, okay. He was looking forward to it. So we cut the cake and everything. He cut it with my son. Okay, that passed. The next day now, or 2 days later, I had to go to work. And my son was saying, my son was supposed to go to daycare, and then he started complaining that his ankle or his foot, something on him was hurting, but it was between his foot and his ankle. And he was like, oh, it's hurting. He wanted to stay home. So I was like, you can't stay home. You got to go to school. And then, but it wasn't nothing major for him to, like, not go to school. And so my brother was like, nah, he can stay home with me. I'll watch him for the day. So it's fine. I get to spend some time with him and stuff. So I was like, you know what? All right, cool. I'm so happy my son did get to stay home with him and spend that day. And that was that. So I came home, and he was in my room sleeping on the bed. And when I stood at the door of my room, I looked at him, and I was like, is that how he's gonna look if he died? Yo, I don't know why that came into my head. Like, that scared me for, like, to this day. I'm like, why did that come to my head? Like, it's like I'm picturing him. Yeah, anyways. So yeah, that happened. Next thing I know, I didn't think nothing of it. He was supposed to go back home to where he lived, and he got up that morning. It was like a bus, those bus that comes and pick you up from your door, and like a door to door thing. They pick you up from your door and drop you directly at your door, whatever state you're at. it was one of those situations. So the morning off, he got up to go back home, and I was kind of upset because I was hoping that he would wake me up and tell me bye, and he didn't. And I kind of was like mad at my mom too, because I was like, why didn't you wake me up and tell me that he was leaving? Like, make him come and say bye to me, And she was like, well, you were asleep, I didn't want to wake you up. And I'm like, it didn't matter. Like, I didn't care if you didn't wake me up. I mean, it didn't matter if you did wake me up. I would love to say bye to my brother. Like, why would I not say bye? He's leaving. When I tell you all of this, when it all played out and I look back at it, I'm just like, everything that I didn't get to say bye to him. Fast forward to, it was like a few days later, I found like a socks. I forgot what color socks it was. I don't remember, but it was like 1 foot of socks, and I was like texting him like, hey, did you leave your socks here? Like, and I don't remember. I think he did respond or he didn't respond. I don't even remember. It was like, this is years ago. And something, but I was like, you left 1 foot of your socks here. That's weird. And then that was that. I didn't hear from him after that. So then I got a phone call like, oh, your brother passed away. And I'm like, what? Like, this was like 3 days now before his birthday. And I got a phone call. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean he's not alive? Like, what do you mean he's dead? Like, I couldn't believe it. And then the phone calls start coming in one by one. Everybody starting to call to say that he passed and rest in peace, and is it true, and this, that, and the third. And I'm like, what is happening? Like, I've never experienced this a day in my life, ever. Like, that's the closest person I've ever had passed away, and it took a toll on me for a minute. Like, to have somebody that was just next to you, to have somebody that you just celebrated their birthday, to have somebody next to you that you're just talking to, and you were looking forward to like celebrating with them, and then you no longer have that. So so then the phone calls started coming. I have Facebook at the time. I no longer have Facebook because I couldn't deal with going on the internet, and every time I clicked on something, it just kept saying rest in peace. Like, that took another toll on me. I was just like, this can't be real. This is not real. This is not and it took a toll. Then we had to identify the body. That's another thing. Like, when I tell you I cried. I couldn't stop crying. And he lived in a different state, like I said. So the police from that area, they was calling, trying to tell us like to identify tattoos, identify what he looks like, what's his name, this, that, and the third. Then they said they were going to send a picture to us, like at a different police station that was closer to us since it was like out of state. They sent the picture to the police station, and we had to go there and identify his body through a picture. When I saw the picture, oh my God, I was sick to my stomach, because I was like, damn, this is real. Like, even though I was calling his phone a lot and he was not picking up, it still didn't feel real, Like, I was still waiting for the call back. I was still waiting for him to be like, yo, big head, why you not this, or where you at, or blah, blah, blah. And I was not getting that. And when I saw the picture, I'm like, oh, this is real. This is really happening. This really happened, like, And I cried. I cried for days. And I still had to go to work, and I still went to work. I didn't take no time off because I was just like, I need those days to do the funeral for him. And yeah, it was too much. Then after that, we started planning the funeral. We started making arrangements, and all of that started happening, And I had a dream with him and stuff. So this is the part where the dreams part come in now. So when he passed away, I was just like he kept sending me messages in the dreams, because I was like asking him like, what happened? Where were you? Let me see this. Let me see that. And he was showing me in the dream, and he was talking to me in the dream and telling me, and I'm just like, and I would wake up crying my eyes out, because I'm just like, And then after that now, the day of the funeral, all that stuff happened. And after buried him, I think, or before I think it was before or after, I'm not really sure. And he would come back in dreams, and he was telling me like, oh, I keep trying to talk to my mom. He's like, I keep trying to talk to her, but she keep leaving the lights on, so I can't get to talk to her. And I'm like, what is happening? Because it was real. Like, she was sleeping with the lamp on because she did not want to sleep in the dark. And he kept coming back to tell me like she's leaving the light on. He want to talk to her. I'm like, this is real life like this. I never used to believe those people that talk about their mediums and could talk to people that's dead. Like, nah. Me, I'll be like, these people are lying. They're telling you a story that is not true. Oh, yes, it definitely is true. You can really talk to them. God, I don't like it. Scary. But I've spoken to my brother in my dreams. Yeah. And yeah, he would come back. And then one time, again, I was sleeping and he came back and he was like, about the same girlfriend like he had from high school days. And he was like, I want you to tell her, said her name and everything in the dream. And he's like, I want you to tell her, I hope that I want her to have everything that I promised her and all of that. And in the dream, he came back and told me to tell her that. And she was like, she waited for him to dream her and tell her all these things and he just didn't. And I was just like, I don't know. He kept coming back and telling me. And oh, and let me say this part too. The night when he came back and dreamed me telling me about his girlfriend, my son had a toy, and the toy had like a microphone that you can sing in, and it was like a teddy bear looking toy, but it was like, I don't even know how to describe it, but it had like a teddy bear microphone where you sing, and it's like you play something, it plays music, and then you get to sing to it. And the toy had no batteries because my son brought it to me in the daytime, and he was like, he wants to play with the toy, and I was like, there's no battery, it's not gonna work. And he's like, but I want to play with it. And I'm like, no, it has no batteries. When I go outside, I get some batteries and then you can play with it. And there was no noise, there was no battery, so it cannot make a sound. Let me tell you something. It was like 3 in the morning, I think it was, and I started to hear a noise, like music, not like type of noise. I'm like, what the hell? So I got up on my sleep and I'm looking at the TV. The TV's off, blank screen. The radio, there's no radio because that wasn't plugged in. Nothing in the room was there to make noise. Nothing at all. And the toy was the only thing sitting on the side of the bed where I was laying at because my son put it there because I told him I was going to go get batteries. And it was making noise. The toy that had no batteries and it was making noise. Like how? That was my brother trying to get my attention. If y'all go through one of my videos that I have, when I told y'all that there's this one movie that I was always scared to watch since I was a little kid, till this day as an adult, I would not watch that movie because it felt so real and scary. And it's the movie The Ghost. To this day, I cannot watch that movie. And maybe one day I'll sit and watch it. I always say that, but I to this day cannot sit and watch that movie because it felt too real as a kid. Because I'm like, how the hell is somebody's dead gonna come back and do blah blah blah? But it's real. Yeah, so the toy was making noise, and yeah, it was yeah. That's how come I started getting he got my attention, I guess, because I still didn't know what was happening. I'm just like, how come the toy's making noise? But then in the dream now, it started to make sense, and then I woke up crying my freaking eyes out, and then I was just like, oh my god, this is happening. But I did call the girlfriend and I told her like, he came back in my dream and he told me this and blah blah blah, and so yeah, that happened. Then after that, what happened after that? So fast forward now, this all happened in March. April, May is my birthday time now. I was feeling, when I tell you, so down about it still, like I was still going through the motions. I was still getting through the sadness of it all. I was missing him so much. Siblings, you argue a lot. So I was like missing him anyway. He used to call me Big Head. And when he used to always want me to make sandwiches for him, he would tell me how I make the best sandwiches. I know he's lying. I mean, I did make the best sandwiches, but he used to ask me to make him sandwiches. And I used to be like, you make the best sandwiches. Can you make me a sandwich, please? And sometimes when I used to go on dates and I would bring my leftovers, I'd be like, you can have it. And he'd be happy for it too. So, like there's the little things that you kind of miss. And my birthday came around, like I was saying. And I was sitting there like, no birthdays this year. No birthday wishes from him this year. And I was sad to the max. And I'm laying in my bed now. I didn't want to do nothing that day. I didn't want to answer my phone to hear nothing from nobody. I didn't want to see nobody. I didn't want to talk to nobody. Everybody kept saying, what do you want to do? And I kept saying, I don't want to do anything. I just wanted to stay in my house and chill and just avoid everybody. And I'm laying in bed. My TV's on. And I started to hear on the TV, it started saying, happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. And I was just like, I was sad and I jumped up and I looked at the TV. I'm like, what the fuck? But I think it's, what's his name? Stevie Wonder's birthday. We have the same birthday. So, you know, every year they blast that on the TV, the radios, everything. So I'm starting to hear the song and I'm like, wow, like maybe this is his way of telling me happy birthday. And I was feeling so down. And it just started playing on the TV, like happy birthday to ya. And I'm like, this is a sign. Like maybe he is telling me happy birthday. And I was just like, I don't want to celebrate, you know? Then I got up, I was just like, I'm going outside because I think I had to go get my son too. And I went to pick up my son and I turned on the radio and like I said, it's Stevie Wonder's birthday, so it's gonna be all day. Then I heard the happy birthday to ya. It kind of cheered me up a little bit. It kind of cheered me up a little bit in some ways because in my mind it was just like he's trying to tell me happy birthday in his own way, or I know I'm not crazy, but in his own way, maybe that's his way of coming back to say happy birthday and cheer me up a little bit. And it did help a little bit, but at the same time it wasn't enough for me. It was just like I miss him so much, and I just, you know. And then I was having like dreams too where I kept like talking to him and I'm like, why, like you died, like how comes you're coming back to talk to us, like what's going on, like, you know. That's what I kept saying in the dream. And then people were saying, if he say that, he's gonna push them away and blah blah blah, but eventually he's gonna go. And after that, what else happened? I had a dream one night that I was like on one side of the world and he's on the other side, and he looked happy, you know, like he was looked young and happy and stuff. But then, yeah, the other dream now, when he was on one side, I'm on the other side, and there was something separating us, and I was trying to go to him to hug him, and it's like I could not cross that line to go to him, and he could not cross the line to come to me. But it was like we were standing there, and I was just crying, like I just want to hug him, I just want to say bye, and I couldn't get to say it. This is in a dream, and I didn't get a chance to say bye. But when I tell you, I cried in a dream, and I woke up crying. I cried for days. Like I can talk about it now and smile. But I cried. And you know the song that Wiz Khalifa sing in that movie, the Fast and the Furious one, when that guy died? Every time I heard that song, I would break down and cry. Like, you could not play that song around me. When my son's father used to play that, like it used to be on the TV or the radio, I used to be like, turn it off. Turn it off. I don't want to hear it. I used to cry. And I love that song to this day. Like, that's a great song. I just can't listen to it. I think maybe now I might can listen to it because it's been years and I kind of got over it a little teeny bit. But there are times when, I think around one time too, I went to a cemetery to go put flowers on his headstone. It was his birthday and I went to do that and it was covered in snow, the whole entire thing, and I couldn't find it. I sat in the cemetery and I cried my eyes out. I was by myself too, so I didn't care. But I cried my eyes out and I was just like, anyways, that's me asking you guys, like, do you believe in dreams and signs? Do you have anybody that died and they came back and talked to you in your dreams, or have you find signs? And another thing too, my cousin had just came from Jamaica too, and we were all sitting in the living room, and out of nowhere the light went out. Like all of us was just hanging out, the light never went out before, and the bulb went out. And I was just like, wow, he's here. Like, you can feel that he's here, you know? And my cousin started to cry because that was his closest cousin. That was another sign. So, do you guys believe in signs and dreams when somebody passed away? Let me know in the comments. Let me know what your experience was. I'd love to hear it. And I appreciate you guys for watching, you know? And come back for more. Check out some of my other videos. Subscribe. Let's be friends. You guys are here already. So, just click that subscribe